All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very special guest. Not only was he one of the most dominant safeties for the Pittsburgh Steelers, but we're talking one of the most dominant safeties in the NFL from the late 70s to the early 80s. Four-time Super Bowl champ. We like to call him here in Pittsburgh the Torpedo. Ladies and gentlemen, Donnie Shell. Donnie, man, appreciate you coming on the podcast with us today, man.
I'm looking forward to it, Arthur.
Hey, so hopping right into this thing, right? You were undrafted coming out of college. Just talk about how you ended up signing with the Steelers and what was your mindset like once you arrived?
Well, in 1974, they had 17 rounds in the draft, and I wasn't picked.
Man.
And then the next day, I got offers from the old Houston Oilers and Denver Broncos and the Steelers. But the year before, they had drafted Barney Chavis from South Carolina State. Denver Broncos had drafted Barney Chavis in the second round. And we was on the phone talking. He said, man, come on out here. I'm going to take care of you. You know how you I said, man, I said, yeah, Barney, we got it now. So, man, I went to bed that night, couldn't sleep, man. And I got up and I said, let me go talk to Coach Jeffries, my head coach at South Carolina State. I said, Coach, I'm kind of undecided. I told Barney I was thinking about Denver, but I want to know what you think. and he said, look, hey, you need to go to Pittsburgh, very emphatically. I said, Pittsburgh? He said, you need to go to Pittsburgh. I said, Coach, why? He said, they fit your MO. You said you're a hard worker, and you work hard, and you give 100%, and that's the type of people that they are. I said, okay, Coach.
I like
so I signed with Pittsburgh.
Shout out to the coach, baby.
There you go.
now that coach, he had a pretty big impact on your mentality, right? How did you feel like you belonged in the NFL after not being picked 17 rounds? How did you go into the Steelers, that camp as a rookie with, hey, I feel like I can do this and I'm going to make this roster?
Well, that's the attitude that we have at South Carolina State University. Before I left, Coach Jeffers told me they put their pads on just like you, Donnie. And then you go up there. You're a great hitter. You go up there, and that's how you gonna make it. You go up there and show them that we can play ball too.
So you had never any doubts coming from South Carolina State compared to other players coming from bigger schools and whatnot?
No, I did not, because we had a pretty good defense. I think Harry Carson's on that defense, Barney Chavis, and Mickey Sims used to play with Cleveland Browns. So we had a good defense and played in the pros. So we just had confidence that we were going to make it. And look here, man, when you back in the early 70s in two-a-day practices down in Orangeburg, South Carolina, it's 95 degrees, humidity 110.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
Hey, major respect. Oh man. Now during your playing career, man, you were highly decorated, right? I'm talking 5 consecutive Pro Bowls, 3-time All-Pro. So what was it about this steel curtain defense that allowed you to be so dominant?
Hey man, we 1001, 2 and 2.5. Hey, you got to get rid of the ball, bro. Hey, we had 40 interceptions off cover 2, a 2 deep zone. Can you believe that?
That's crazy. Wow, I like it.
Now, do you have a favorite Chuck Noll story from that time, or maybe some type of life lesson that he instilled with you?
Yeah, Chuck was a great teacher, a great mentor, and he prepared us for not only football when we were playing, but life after sports. He said, you just got to get ready for your life work. And, you can't do this all your life, so you got to prepare for that. But I do remember, I think it was 1974, and the Miami Dolphins played the Oakland Raiders out there, and Oakland beat them. And then I remember that the head coach said that the 2 best teams played today. John Madden, the head coach.
Yes.
And our next meeting, man, Chuck came in. Chuck is he's very reserved. He never says anything, never raises his voice. Excuse me. You know what? He said the best 2 teams played yesterday. You know what? I believe the best team is in this room.
Mm.
And boy, we got fired up, man. You talking about
Mm.
people got fired up? He never says that. Never give never
like
give any
that.
type of speeches like that.
Yeah.
We got fired. I looked over at Joe Green, man. He said, "Yeah, we ready now. Let's go get him."
Is there any little things that he would do to help you guys prepare for life after football?
Yeah, he always talk about life after football. You know, he said life is hard. You know, football practice hard. Life is going to be the same way when you get out. And he always encouraged us to be the best that we can be, because he knew that was a life after sports. And I remember my first 2 years I was working on my master's degree, and I told him in training camp that I went back and I got my master's degree. He said, I'm very proud of you. That's the way to work.
Man, that's dope.
But he always incorporate life lessons with his coaching.
I like that. And big kudos to you for going back and getting that master's while playing. I mean, guys like you ultimately paved the way for guys like me. I did something similar in terms of finishing my master's while playing, but seeing people like you do it first, I mean, that sets the tone, man, in terms of understanding what life is after football as well. So, man, just major shout out to you again for that.
Hey, appreciate it, man. And that was a part of came out of Chuck and came from my parents.
Man,
you know, you got to prepare for your life. You're not gonna play. If I played 14 years, I'm 35 years old, man. I got 30 more years to work.
No question.
I can't get my Social Security. I can't get my Social Security yet.
Hey, look, and speaking of your long career, I mean, you talk about 14 years playing, but look, over 200 career games you played in. That's not even counting the 19 playoff games that you played in as well. But during that span, you only missed 10 games. So just talk about what was the key to you staying healthy and ultimately preparing yourself to play week in and week out like that?
Hey, you know, just training, man. Training, getting your body in the best shape that you possibly get in. And then, man, look, I pray. I said, Lord, keep me healthy, keep me safe. It's a dangerous game out there. And along with being in shape and in great condition, I think my prayers were answered.
I like that. Now, back then, a lot of the guys, they did have multiple jobs, right? When the season would be over. So just talk about how you would focus on your training during that time frame to make sure you were good to go once it started up.
Well, you know, we were done about the 1st of January back in the day. And I think Super Bowl was about the 1st or 2nd week in January. So we were done the season. In fact, when we didn't have to be back, we didn't have to go back for any off-season conditioning or workout.
That's crazy. No OTAs.
So we had January until July.
Oh.
But here's the clincher, is that you better be in shape and in condition, because if you didn't, you got cut.
Oh.
So,
okay.
So yes, we had to prepare. Like my first 2 years, I was in grad school, and then after that, I got involved with real estate during the off season.
Wow, that's crazy. No, you had a chance to play with multiple very talented players and Hall of Famers, right? So just talk about what it was like lining up with those guys at the various stages of not only your career, but their career as well.
Well, it was great because we not only had great players, we had great people. And we built relationships on and off the football field. People after the game, people have us over for dinner at their house, and have a bunch of players over, and during Thanksgiving, everybody brought a meal, and we sit around with our families. And those are the things that people don't see behind the scenes.
Right.
And now I have had relationship with Mel Blunt, John Stallworth over 40-some years. And we still communicating and have a great relationship.
I like that, man. That's key, though, honestly. Even when I was playing, understanding the importance of being close-knit, spending time off the field, because you play harder for people that you personally like, correct?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
I said you play a lot harder for people that you personally like and have a personal connection with, you know?
Oh, no question about it. I think that's what the relationship did. You know, we were close on and off the football field, so we got to know each other and our families, and that's translated on the field, because you know, it's just build a great camaraderie, not only in the locker room, but in life. And that's why we communicate with each other
Absolutely.
still today.
Speaking of Mel Blount, isn't there a story between you and him where I know you were benched your first 3 years of your career playing nickel corner and then also playing some special teams? One, what is that story behind you and Mel Blount? Did he take you aside and talk to you? And like, what did he say? Like, how were you encouraged as opposed to being discouraged in that point of your career?
Yeah, I was discouraged, man, because everything I ever did, it was pee-wee ball, high school or college. I was the captain. I was captain of a football, baseball, and basketball team in high school. And then when I went to college, I played baseball and football, so I was the captain of both of those teams. And then when I got to Pittsburgh, man, I was sitting on the bench. I said, man, I was the man all through my career. I said, I'm not. They said, what's up with that? So I said, why I can't start on this level? So I got a little discouraged, and Mel saw me at my locker one day, and back in the day, they called you Rook. He hollered way across the room, "Hey, Rook! hey, you going to dinner with me?" I said, who me? He said, "Yeah, you going to dinner." I'm a good businessman, so I'm gonna find out who paying. I said, "You paying?" He said, "Yeah, come on here, you going to dinner." So we got out, man. And he said, look, Donnie, I've never seen anybody play the special team like you. You are a unique guy going down there, making the tackle on the 25-yard line and getting us in good position. You're a nickelback, you playing on third down, and you coming in on goal line. So he said, look, man, the last 2 years they got knocked off the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They had got knocked out of the playoffs prior to 74.
Right.
And they had their jaw set, man. They were going to the Super Bowl. He said, look, you're doing a great job, man. I said, we need you. But everybody needs to do their job. And that is your responsibility. That's your job. And if you keep doing that, we'll get to where we want to go. Everybody wanted to go. I said, yeah, I want to go. He said, well, you're doing a great job. You know what, man? I really want to start. I just want somebody to tell me that I was doing a great job.
Need that affirmation.
And when Mel sowed those seeds of encouragement to me, I always try to, when I observe somebody, or especially young people, and I see that God got their hand on them, he got talents and abilities, I always try to encourage them. I said, man, just wait your turn. Just keep working hard. Don't give up. It's a plan for your life. And Mel really encouraged me. And what he did was brought me back in the fold of a team. And I understand the team concept. That everybody has a part to play in it. Where it's a great part, where you're out front, or you're in not starting and coming off the bench like I was. You still, he made me feel special.
And that's dope, man. Big kudos to Mel Blount too, man, for recognizing that and sowing that seed in you. Now, Speaking of you in that role, in terms of when you see people and how you want to motivate them, after you retired, you went on to, for 15 years, be the director of player development for the Carolina Panthers. So just talk about what led you to that decision and ultimately how fulfilling it was being in that role.
Well, I always thought I wanted to be a coach. And I, from my high school coach, Coach Lefty Johnson, used to take me home afterwards and practice and talk to me and said, man, you can be whatever you want to be. I said, he said, you can go to college. I said, hey, Coach, 9 brothers and sisters, and my family ain't got no money. I'm thinking that, and he was a Caucasian guy too. I said, wow. I said, what in the world? What is he talking about? When you're young, man, you just can't see, but he saw something in me. To every day, every afternoon, he bring me back home. Man, Don, you can do whatever you want to be. You can be whatever you want. All you got to do is keep your nose to the grindstone, keep out of trouble, and things will work out for you. Man, I didn't know, but I wanted to be a teacher and a coach. I wanted to come back and do what he did to us when we was going through. He cared about us more than just on the football field. And I thought that was in coaching on the field, but when I got to the Pittsburgh and I got to Carolina Panthers, it was coaching men in their lives, life coaching. That's what it was. I had to get you got to know your calling. You might be in the wrong field for coaching.
Ain't that the truth?
So, but it was. So what I learned in Pittsburgh, and what I learned when I was those 6 years that I was out and working, and before I got to the Carolina Panthers in business, I poured that back into those guys in developing programs for their wives and their families when I got to the Carolina Panthers.
Man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Now, this is the one I've been waiting on all day, this question right here, right? So you are one of the most highly decorated players of all time in the NFL. Not only do you have the personal stats to back it up, but you have the hardware, the multiple Super Bowl rings. Now, a number of Hall of Famers themselves have spoken on your behalf in terms of how deserving you are of that honor of being in the Hall of Fame. But for some reason, the people have been overlooking you on numerous occasions when it comes to getting in the Hall. So just talk about what it would mean to you if you got that nod in the NFL's 100 season to be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I believe that good things come to those who wait.
Absolutely.
You know, if I got that nod, that means God has opened the door to give me a bigger platform to glorify and honor Him, and to meet more people, to sow back in more people's lives, and to encourage other people. That's what I would do with that.
Man, I love that.
What have you thought about that thus far after your NFL career not being in? Because the stats are there, like everything is there,
clear cut.
So how do you go about that in your day-to-day life?
Well, I get up, I spend my time, my quiet time, and I pray. I read my scriptures. They're encouraging to me. And I just turn things over to the Lord. It said, seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you.
Talk about it.
Sometimes people get things and they can't handle it.
True.
Where it's money, where it's being all pro, or being in the Hall of Fame. Talk about it. And then you'll turn around and start worshiping that rather than the true God. So I know when He adds things to me, I'm going to be able to handle it. He got a purpose for it.
Hey,
there you go.
I like that, man. A wise man right there.
Yes.
Very wise man.
Now, Donnie,
now, Arthur, I'm not going to charge y'all. Y'all need to put something in the collection plate on that.
I got a little something for it. I got a little something on it.
Go ahead, man.
Now, Donnie, you're a big-time golfer, right?
Yes.
Is there a most interesting foursome that you've been a part of?
Interesting foursome I've been a part of. I can't think of any.
Who's the best player you played with then on the golf course?
Greg Lloyd.
Oh,
really?
He was when I had my tournament last year down in Augusta. You know, I was playing with their foursome because there was my sponsors, and I told them that I would play at least 8 or 9 holes with them. And Greg Lloyd, Cliff Stout. Oh my, Cliff Stout hits the ball 1,000 yards.
Wow.
He can just blast it out there, man.
Wow,
John Stallworth. These guys.
Oh man.
What do you shoot?
I mean, man. What did I shoot?
No, just in general. Yeah, like what's your handicap?
Yeah. Too many. No, I'm not a good golfer, but I like to be out there and I like to compete.
Hey, that's what it's all about.
I don't like golf to beat me.
Okay.
So
okay.
I got to be good. I'm not a natural at golf, so I had to practice. I got to go to the driving range before and practice and play around too and get my rhythm. I'm just not a natural golfer, but when I get out there, I like to compete.
Okay.
So I'll have some shots at sometimes you make a birdie and sometimes you're chipping out of the sand trap, and then all of a sudden the ball goes in for a birdie, and everybody's running. Hey! I said, what y'all shouting about? It went in. and I like the quietness, and I like the fellowship that you have, because you're playing with people that you're gonna spend about 4 hours, 5 hours with. So that's important too.
I like that,
Sure.
man. So it's our final question for the day. Now, we ask any of our athletes that come on the podcast this one thing. So tell us, I know it's been a little while, but you're welcome to the NFL moment.
Sean, I missed that.
I said, so talk about your welcome to the NFL moment.
Oh, my welcome to the NFL moment.
Yes, indeed.
That's interesting. I think it was in training camp, and the reporter I was doing pretty good in training camp, and they had a strike that year, so the veterans players wasn't in. We was getting a lot of reps, and the reporter came up to me and said, "Well, Mr. Shell, can I interview you after lunch?" I said, "Sure." And the first thing out of his mouth, he said, "Do you know that you're a long shot to make this team?" I said, I said, no. I said, no. He said, yeah, you was undrafted. You're not going to get a lot of reps and stuff. Usually free agents don't get a lot of reps and different things and of that. And you're not going to get a lot of time, practice time. And so you're a long shot. Everything he said was true. But I say this, and I hope young people are listening. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. And my response was the same response I just said earlier about when Coach Jeffers told me you put your pads on. I looked at him and said, very emphatically, I said, look, I put my pads on, my coach told me when I got up here, if I put my pads on just like everybody else, I got a good a chance to make this team as anybody else.
Okay.
And he was taken aback. I said, no. I said, I'm going to work and work hard.
I like that.
So that was my moment there, and I share that story because I don't want people in general and also young people to give up, because everything he said was right, but sometimes you just got to go against the grain of that.
No question.
To get to where you need to go.
No
Absolutely.
question. Believing in yourself, man. Understanding that, hey, if you believe it, then you can achieve it. No question.
There you go.
Man. I like that. Hey, we definitely appreciate you, man, for taking time out to come on the podcast, man. It's been a blast. And yeah, you're a legend. You got to get in the hall, man. Get this man in the hall ASAP.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we appreciate it, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be with you guys today.
No
doubt,
problem.
man.
It was a blast. Thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Y'all take care.
All right, you
Have
too.
a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.